Welcome to a new era in motorcycle design. I'm John Delvecchio, lead instructor at the Street Skills Riding Academy in Rochester, New York. My school focuses on building riding skills for confidence and enjoyment, but it's time to take a deeper look into the impact motorcycle design is having on rider health. I'd like to introduce the world's first motorcycle crash rating tool. Motorcycles are designed for performance and use. They're not crash tested for safety. Riding is risky. Every serious rider knows that, but many don't understand exactly which designs can be the most harmful. Specific motorcycle model crash testing is not available like it is for cars. In the absence of this information, motorcycle owners and the general public can use this rating system to form an impression of how crashworthy certain motorcycle models are in frontal collisions, the most common multi-vehicle crash type. This crashworthiness and prevention rating system is for reflective purposes only and is not scientific. The rating tool is a rule of thumb evaluation. Regardless of any particular model's crash rating, be sure to keep your skills sharp and situational awareness at peak performance. Avoiding a crash is always the best outcome. Crashworthiness features are those that will affect crash energy diffusion. Ratings are as follows: good, acceptable, or poor. A super feature rating is just what it sounds like. This feature provides an extraordinary level of protection or prevention. These super features are the standard to which manufacturers should be shooting for. If the motorcycle is equipped with an airbag, it will get the super feature rating. Without, all other motorcycles rank as poor. Fuel tank slope is a feature that isn't really difficult for a manufacturer to achieve. It is also the second super feature rating in the crashworthiness category. A super feature tank slope rating basically puts the seat level with the tank. In actual practice, this will be less than 20 degrees. A gradually sloping tank will give you a good rating between 20 and 30 degrees. Moderate sloped fuel tanks give you an acceptable rating, and they go from between 30 to 45 degrees. Anything over 45 degrees is considered a severe slope and given a poor rating. Here's how the angles are measured. Form a right angle triangle between the seat's lowest, most forward point to the tallest point of the tank. When making this triangle, the hypotenuse must remain outside of the tank's shape. When it comes to the motorcycle's wheels, this is pretty straightforward. Spoke wheels will absorb more crash energy than cast wheels. Spokes are good, cast alloy would be acceptable, and any wheel made from a super strong material such as carbon fiber would be considered poor. Frame crashworthiness ratings can only be good or acceptable. A double cradle, typically steel-made frame is going to absorb more crash energy than a twin spar or trellis frame built for rigidity, leaving us with only two choices for most motorcycles between good and acceptable. The final crashworthiness feature rating we're going to evaluate is the fairing. While fairings and windscreens can make riding more comfortable and enjoyable, more obstacles in front of a rider will restrict forward movement in a frontal crash, leading to more severe injury potential. Therefore, naked motorcycles are going to get a good rating, a windscreen, acceptable, but a full fairing will be given a poor rating. Crash prevention features are those that will affect crash avoidance or severity. These also have the ability to slow the rider's forward momentum. The first crash prevention feature rated is a real game changer. It's called the Inertial Measurement Unit, IMU. This state-of-the-art electronic controller has proven to be extremely effective in crash prevention. The controller acts as a central processing center for providing motorcycle stability control, analog brakes, traction control, and a host of other passive interventions to provide increased safety, comfort, and performance. IMUs can also be used for lighting systems that predict changes in direction for adaptive illumination. A motorcycle gets a super feature rating if it has the IMU, a poor rating if it does not. While not new technology, anti-lock braking systems are becoming more available on motorcycles. ABS slows the rider's forward momentum more effectively than standard brakes. This may lead to lower crash speed, less crash energy, or elimination of a crash altogether. Yes for anti-lock brakes is a good rating. No, poor. Traction control is another crash prevention feature that's becoming available on more motorcycles. TC can provide stability in loss of traction situations, slowing the rider's forward momentum or eliminating a crash. A motorcycle with traction control will get a good rating, while a motorcycle without traction control will get a poor rating. Warning systems are also becoming more popular on motorcycles. Warning systems are typically part of the instrument cluster and inform the rider of any potential trouble ahead. This rating is by quantity available on a certain model. Warning system examples are tire pressure monitoring system, ice warning, or self-canceling turn signals. This rating includes any feature with the purpose to alert the rider to an impending hazard. Zero warning systems rates poorly. One warning system, for example, ice warning, would be acceptable. Two or more warning systems is a good rating. Longer wheelbase motorcycles have a better chance of keeping both tires in contact with the road surface for shorter stopping distances. This may slow the rider's forward momentum more effectively. Wheelbase may also influence how and when the rider is ejected in a forward crash due to rear wheel lift. Note, wheelbase length does not always affect total stopping distances. Wheelbases 64 inches or greater are rated as good. Wheelbases 54 inches or less are rated as poor, and in between, acceptable. The speed when a forward crash occurs directly relates to injury severity. Lower speed and power could result in slower crash speeds or more practical stopping distances in traffic. A top speed of less than 99 miles per hour gets a good rating. Over 150 miles per hour, a poor rating, and between 100 and 149 miles per hour, acceptable. Less than 89 horsepower is a good rating. Over 150 horsepower, poor, and between 90 and 149 horsepower, acceptable. Here's how to determine the overall rating calculations for crashworthiness and crash prevention. Any super feature rating results in a super overall rating for crashworthiness. Without a super feature rating, you will add up 2 points for each good, 1 point for acceptable. Poor ratings get 0 points. Add them up. Between 0 and 2 points is poor, 3 to 4 points is acceptable, and 5 or more points will give you a good rating for crashworthiness. Any super feature rating results in a super overall rating for crash prevention. Without a super feature, Add up the points as you did with crashworthiness. 2 points each for good, 1 point each for acceptable, 0 points for poor ratings. Overall crash prevention rating is calculated by total points in the following ranges. 0 to 3 points is a poorly rated crash prevention model. 4 to 6 points is acceptable. 7 or more points is a good overall crash prevention rating. This checklist assessment was created by John Delvecchio at streetskills.net, based on research from James Owlett and Jesse Wobrock. Ultimately, motorcyclists are responsible for their own safety. The motorcycle crash rating tool is a work in progress, so please send any feedback or comments you have. Request that your motorcycle be rated next on this channel. Join me in the mission of putting riders on the safest designs possible by subscribing and sharing these ratings.